Paulie G. Welcome back to the Paulie G Show, coming to you live from high atop Mount Georgia. Happy summer. I hope you're doing well. So last night I saw the new Elvis picture, and I highly recommend it if you're an Elvis fan like myself. It definitely gives you a window into some background that you may not be aware of, and it's just really interesting to see how, you know, his career was developed and exploited, one would say, by, you know, Colonel Tom Parker, who really actually obviously wasn't a colonel at all, but sort of created this fictitious, you know, name and personality. But all that said, I definitely recommend the movie if you're at all interested in Elvis and, you know, his life. Definitely an accurate portrayal and really interesting and really well done. Anyway, all that said, I just wanted to do a quick update. I know a few weeks back I did a video displaying my various models of Gretsch guitars, and one of them was this model 5420 Electromatic that I found used in a local guitar shop at a very low price. And, you know, the thing about it is I love the guitar so much that I decided that, you know, rather than get any more Gretsches or things like that, I was going to do some upgrades on this one because there were some things that I wanted in a Gretsch that this didn't have. And, you know, my 6120, my high-end, you know, Chet Atkins type model is already, you know, really well equipped, and it's a kind of a vintage guitar. I don't really want to change anything on it electrically or mechanically or certainly aesthetically. So this seemed to me to be the perfect avenue to explore some of those things. And that's what I did. And I just kind of wanted to point out a few of the upgrades that I did with it. And, you know, it's just turned out to be an unbelievable, you know, guitar. The first thing I did was I replaced the Electromatic style bridge with the slots with a roller type bridge. You know, mainly the reason for that is I don't like the idea of using any vibrato arm, whether it's a Bixby or otherwise, and just sort of grating those strings across the Electromatic bridge. It's just, to me, it's like you're sawing the strings. I just don't like that idea, and I don't think it bodes well for keeping the guitar in tune. I think a roller bridge is much more preferable, mechanically speaking, for this, you know, for any tremolo, and certainly for a Bixby. So I didn't spend a lot of money, but I found one, I think it was on eBay, for around $30. It's Asian made, you know, not a super high-end roller bridge, but does a great job, you know. Absolutely perfect for what I wanted to do here, which was not spend a lot of money, but get that roller bridge, you know, concept going. The next thing I did was, if you have a Bixby on any guitar and you've ever tried to change strings on them, you know what a total hassle that can be, because the pins are down on this side here. You've got to wrap the string around, try to keep it in place while you're locking it in place in the tuning machines. So I found a company called Vibramate that makes this attachment that's very easy to snap on to the back of your Bixby, and, you know, becomes a hardtail kind of configuration for string changing. And it's just a complete game changer in terms of ease in string changing on a Bixby. So if you have a Bixby and you're tired of, you know, trying to fight with it, there's all these different techniques. For a while, I was using a capo to hold the string in place while I locked it up here, but they just want to pop off the Bixby in the worst way. So this Vibramate, they call it a spoiler, I think. I'll leave a link in the description where you can find these. They're, you know, around $30 or so for a stainless steel or nickel-plated one. If you want a gold one, they're a little more expensive, probably $50, $60, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I'll leave a link to the Vibramate website, so check them out. So that was the other upgrade that I did. But the most important one was, because I'm seldom ever satisfied with anything. I'm always looking for the next, best thing. And I'd seen and heard so much about TV Jones pickups, particularly as they relate to Gretsch guitars. And I always wanted to try a pair, but I certainly didn't want to change them out on my Chet Atkins model because it already has an amazing set of Gretsch American-made, Filtertron pickups. So I thought, well, this would be the perfect guitar to try that out on. I got it at a low price, so I was comfortable with throwing a few extra dollars at it, So what I did was I got a pair of, so this previously it had, the standard 5420 Electromatic blacktop Filtertron pickups. And these are great pickups. They work great. If you have an Electromatic and you have these on it and you're satisfied with it, great. I was just looking to really, try out these TV Jones and understand just how great they really are. So what I did is I got a pair of the TV Jones Classics and put them on this guitar, and I mean, it's just an unbelievable sound that this thing is creating. So I'm just over the moon with how this guitar has turned out, because I'm into this thing completely for, well under $1,000 with all the upgrades. And this looks, sounds, and plays as good or better as any guitar that I've owned, high-end or not, or played. It's just, I'm just over the moon with how great this thing has turned out. I really am. I'm just thrilled. And, I guess my point is, if you want to get into a Gretsch guitar, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you don't necessarily want to buy, the 6000 series, that level, and spend thousands of dollars. If you can find one of these, maybe used at a low price, I don't think you're going to find one as low as this one. I got it for $400. That's pretty rare. But $500, $600, $700. And, the TV Jones pickups, I'll leave a link also in the description below for the TV Jones website. They were around $270 for those pickups. If you can't put them in yourself, it's kind of tricky because there's no access panel to access the pots or anything. So it can get really tricky, wiring these in place and replacing them. But so that might cost you a little bit extra money to have your, your local guitar shop do that for you. But, again, all in, I'm well under $1,000, and I don't know, you just can't get a better guitar for that kind of money. I'm just ecstatic with how it's turned out. So I'm having a lot of fun with these. The thing about the Gretsch guitars is, as I said earlier, is they kind of make me play a little bit differently than I, normally would on, other types of guitars. I don't really consider them great, at least for my playing, for, blues type of playing where there's like, I'm not a great solo player anyway, but I think of more, Stratocasters and Les Pauls and, single line playing with bended note. These are more for me, for like chords and riffs, that kind of thing. And they're fantastic for that. I mean, the volume that I get out of this guitar with these pickups is astonishing. It's so bright and so loud and so clean. And you can get crunch out of it too. If you have your favorite crunch pedal or distortion pedal, these things will break up amazingly well. You can get some really great crunch out of these. So, and one more thing I'll say about the Electromatic series is that the nice thing about doing something like this, kind of taking an upgrade project on, is you have a much larger variety of colors of guitars than you do in the high-end, 6000 series. There you've got, where you get the White Falcon, the Black Falcon, the classic orange, Chet Atkins type model, or maybe the Country Gentleman, which is the kind of rosewood brown color, the George Harrison type. But in the Electromatic series, there's just any number of colors available. So, that gives you options too. This is probably, I think this is the first green guitar I ever bought. But, I like it. It's a mint kind of green color that looks really great with the cream binding. It's got the tombstone inlays on the fretboard. They don't do these anymore. Now they do the little thumbnail, you know, inlays on the fretboards, on the newer ones. This one's, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old or so. So I think they stopped doing those about 4 or 5 years ago. But, you know, I guess, you know, again, my point is if you want to get into a Gretsch and have that amazing Gretsch sound, you can do it at a really low price and just do a few upgrades, make it really easy to change strings, make it sound unbelievable, and, you know, have a lot of fun with it. So that's all. Just wanted to show you the upgrades that I did on this guitar. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're new, I would love it if you'd subscribe and like. That would be awesome, trying to grow the channel. Otherwise, this is Paulie G saying, when it comes to guitars, you only need one. More. See you next time.